Alright, not a monster. First fish of the day, Old Hickory Lake, some kayak bass fishing tournament. I'll give you more updates as I go along, but he's not a keeper, but it's a start. Caught him off of my little swim bait. I think this is the baby bull shad or bull gill, I can't remember. I'm gonna get this little guy back in the water though. So I finally got one. I've been fishing like 3 hours. I went back in this tiny creek and I was about to turn back. I haven't measured him yet. I'll let you know what he is. It's a good one though. All right, I'm gonna turn this the other way real quick. This one is almost 16. He is right at. I've already taken a picture from my tournament, but just want to show you guys. Close your mouth, dude. There we go. He's about 15 3/4. This is really hard to do in a kayak. Now I know why a lot of people don't mess with it. So, almost 16 inches in a creek. This little creek off of the main lake. Well, everybody, this was an eventful day, to say the least. Eventful in good ways and eventful in not so good ways. So, the good first. Today was the first day that I went and fished in a tournament. It's a weekend tournament, so it's not like you gotta clock in or clock out somewhere at the lake or at a specific lake. It's any body of water as long as it's public access. So got to Old Hickory Lake, went, put in, tooled around a little bit, caught about a 9-incher. You'll see the pictures, 9-inch or video, maybe. We'll see how everything works out. It's been a weird day. Caught a little one on one side. I tried to go around a corner where a friend of mine and I used to fish a lot because I knew that area really well, and the wind was blowing. I mean, it must have been 15 miles an hour. It was, I don't know what it was, but it was bad. I'm gonna look it up when I get home and see. But I couldn't get anywhere, even when I had my motor on. It was just so choppy, and I don't feel comfortable that comfortable in the kayak yet to be able to move around the way I really want to. So I turned around and came back and decided to hit another little cove that I've hit before, and no luck all the way down that whole cove. Went to a little, I found a little creek. There's a cut that goes under a road and goes into a fairly shallow area where there's some houses and docks, but everything's pretty shallow. Had a couple little hits there, didn't get anything. And then there was a creek that fed off of that little inlet, whatever you want to call it. So I went down the creek and I thought, well, I'll just try it. At least it'll be cooler. There won't be any chop. There won't be any wind. And that's one reason why I went to the other little inlet anyway. So forgive me if my eyes are bouncing around. I'm not focused right now. I probably shouldn't even be videoing, but I am because it's fresh. So went up in this little creek and got a hit. And I thought, okay, maybe there's something in here. I saw some bluegill here and there. And then it started actually getting deep in the middle. And so I just started casting my chatterbait, the one that never fails, and just right up the middle and bringing it in. Got a good hit. Set the hook. I didn't have any cameras on because I haven't been catching anything all day, really. And the wind and everything's been terrible. I was afraid I was going to lose stuff. And anyway, so got it in the boat. About 15 3/4 inches, just shy of 16 inches. So I was able to get him on the board, basically, to take a picture of his length, and took the picture, shot a little video, if I remember correctly. Put him back in the water, good to go. I thought, great, finally something, you know, that's keeper size. And turned around, just spun the kayak back around, started fishing again. About 2 casts later, another hit. Pulled in one about 12 inches, and I thought, well, at least it's a keeper according to the rules as far as I knew. So went to put him on the board. I probably should have waited a couple seconds, let him calm down. Put him on the board. He started kicking around. I tried to grab him. I missed him. He went back in the water, and as I was moving, kayak kind of tipped, and my board went in the water. How do I measure him? I was like, crap. So I'm trying to get it out. I'm trying to hook it with my paddle. I'm trying to get it with something, and in order to get it back out of the creek. But of course, that was the deepest part of the creek. It was at least 6-7 feet deep, and I wasn't going to go in and get it. And I thought, well, I guess my day's done as far as measuring fish, which kind of sucked because I at least would have had 2 fish on the board. So went back, started heading back. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to go back. I put the motor on, just took off, and when I got back into the main part of the lake, it was extremely choppy, wind blowing at me, which I knew was going to happen because I had the wind going the other way. But it was a lot of chop, and there were a lot of boats on the water. I tried to get over to the shallow side, which I was able to do, but evidently I didn't know it. Evidently, with all the other chop I'd been through that day, the kayak had kind of taken on some water. And with the motor in the back and the battery sitting right behind my seat, which is where I moved it to, there was too much water in the kayak. So I kept getting more and more toward the shallow part. I thought if I could just get to this one area, I knew I could pull the kayak out because I'd fished from the bank there, and I'd get my dolly and I would bring it back, and I would just, you know, roll it the rest of the way back to the car. And I flipped it in the shallow water. It was probably about, I don't know, not quite waist deep, probably about mid-thigh. So I kind of went under a little bit, of course, because I flipped it and was able to get my footing, grab the kayak. Of course, the motor was still running, so I had to turn the motor off. That's why I put a kill switch on. Then a couple of things fell out. Luckily, not a lot fell out. I grabbed one of my small bait boxes. It was floating still, thankfully. I grabbed it, and unfortunately my phone was in my pocket, but I think it's okay. It seems like it's okay. I'm videoing from it right now, actually, so hopefully it's all right. And got it back up, started moving it, got stuff back in it, and started pushing it and walking with it, trying to get to the shallow part because there was nowhere for me to take it out. Then about 20 yards down, I realized that the one pole that wasn't in the built-in rod holders had fallen out. It was my bait casting rod and reel, and it's pretty much my favorite one. I didn't have it tied. I didn't have a strap on it. The other ones didn't fall out of the rod holder somehow. I guess it didn't tip all the way over far enough. But then it really had water in it. So I eventually got deeper on me. I couldn't just walk with it. So I turned the motor on and kind of guided it from the back until I could get to shallow water. Got out, excuse me, pulled it out. All right, just wanted to finish my story. Basically, got the kayak out, could barely get it out, even on a flat rock that I was trying to put it on, and it was so full of water. I opened up the hatch to look, and it was over halfway full on the back side of it, and which means the front was probably just as bad. But I was able to get it out enough, took everything off, and emptied it out, let it drain. And while it was draining, I walked back up, probably, I don't know, probably a little over 100 yards. It wasn't too bad. And got the dolly. I got to the dolly, and I had one of the tires was flat. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pull it on this anyway. I didn't care. So walked back, put it on the dolly, put all the heavy stuff in the front, started rolling it. Rolled okay for a while, and then it just got worse, of course, because of the flat. And then I just decided to take the heavy stuff off, the motor and a couple other things, and I carried them to the Xterra, put that stuff in, went back, and then rolled it the rest of the way, loaded up, and that takes you to the video where you saw me sitting in the Xterra talking. My phone got a little hot sitting up on the dash as I was recording. It was kind of the only way I could do it at the time and get it done as quick as I could and still kind of give you guys an update. So that's what happened. So the rest of this video, you'll see kind of me trying to fish, and we'll see if I catch anything. Well, I'm back at it today. This is the next day after my mess on Old Hickory Lake. So that'll be updated, and I don't want to talk about it right now. So I'm out here on a skinny part of the Stones River and just trying to get at least a couple more fish for this tournament I got in, hoping that I can actually, I'm not going to place. Plus, this is just me. Some of y'all may have done this lucky go fishing thing before. In the first like 12 hours of this tournament, some dude had 60 inches of fish already, and they all have to be bass. And I'm looking at that and going, so you caught like 3 or 4 16 inches, or even a little bit smaller, and a bunch of those on public access land in 12 hours. And then a lot of times when these guys are posting pictures, it's not even, they're like on a sidewalk or a slab of concrete. My understanding was you had to actually take the picture of the fish in your boat, as in your kayak, because it's kayak tournament. And I'm seeing carpeted decks and all this other kind of stuff, so I don't know how all this is working and if they actually even look at all that stuff, but it's probably just excuse because I ain't catching a lot of fish. I'm just mad. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, I admit it. So anyway, I'm gonna try and put a couple in the boat today and at least get a little more placement in there. As of yesterday, today's the last day, this is Sunday. As of yesterday, at least I wasn't last, so I'll take that. But we'll see. Get a couple more in here and we'll put it together, hopefully. Even on the river, you got to put up with this bull crap. Here they come. Just bring my saltwater stuff with me. Here, I left my pyramid weight. I thought that's what the lakes were for. You know it sucks when I'm on the lake too, but. So I got on a small crankbait. Crap, almost went in the tree. What I'm trying to do with the crankbait, I'm just trying to cover water. I don't have a whole lot of time this afternoon to fish. So I'm just trying to cover as much water as I can in a small amount of time. So, but if it doesn't work, I have a spinner bait. And if I have time, I may throw a worm here and there, but